Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. God, I miss that music and I miss this show. It's great to be back and better than ever, just jetting a series of just long overdue vanilla flavored ropes all over everyone's faces and open mouths in the form of yet another long awaited and highly anticipated show that will in no way, shape, or form get more than 6 views on the internet. Basescape, aka the longest Let's Play of all time, has been mysteriously absent from your feed for a while, and we need to get to the bottom of that. So I'm going to run a little longer than a typical week in review because, well, shit. A lot has happened since my last video, and I may even put timestamps in. I don't know. We may run that long. I've never felt the need to do that, but I figure, some people may want to jump around, so I may actually have to do it this time. But I have so much to say, even the, bullet points for the show are long, so find something to bite down on and strap in, bitch. We're going for a ride today. But first things first, you might be saying to yourselves, just where the hell have you been, host Matt? Well, you know what? The world is a wondrous place full of twists and turns, and at a moment's notice, things can change at the drop of a hat, and lately, things have been not so great in real life. I'll keep it as short and as digestible as possible. My dad went in for a routine cancer screening. They found something that looked suspicious, so they had him in for a biopsy. After the biopsy and 3-4 days of nail biting, they said, they needed to do surgery. So they fucked him up pretty good, man. The whole left side of his forehead is now gone. I told him that he looks like a gunfighter who fucking lost. That got a laugh out of him. I joke, but everyone has just been on edge, man. So we're just all sort of in a weird place. I feel like Don Rickles just trying way too hard to make everybody laugh and break the tension in the room a little. But if you know who Don Rickles was, then congratulations on making it to senior citizen status. Your AARP card will be in the mail shortly. But yeah, man, melanoma runs in our family. My grandpa had it. He was a Marine tank commander in Korea and survived that. But what killed him, you might ask? Well, he moved to Texas and Florida. He was a mailman for 30 years and played a lot of golf, and the sun finally got him. So yeah, our pale white Irish ancestry, man, our whiteness is both a blessing and a curse. We're dropping like flies and being replaced, just like that Lord of the Rings remake that Amazon is doing, Oh, we're going there, baby. Memes are a wonderful thing. They say things without saying them. But I gotta tell you, even things like Giphy or Jiffy, however you want to say it, there's that and there's Tenor. Tenor is still sort of decent, but just over the last few years, suddenly all of these GIFs and memes are based in TV and movies like an NBC show that aired 14 years ago or some dumb new shit that only someone who lives on TikTok would know about. Oh man, it's almost as if there is no deep history of internet memes to source from, and all of the good stuff has just been buried and or canceled for the safest shit possible, It's sad, but as far as the new Lord of the Rings show goes, look, Amazon Prime should have one hell of a garden going from Tolkien just spinning. Picture J.R.R. Tolkien just spinning in his grave so much that he's mulching the soil and mixing around all the nutrients. They'll be producing award-winning heirloom tomatoes by the time the show goes live and those real reviews start coming in. And really, truthfully, I would bet my left nut today, right here on the show, that the Game of Thrones prequel will follow this same exact equation. I mean, I just sit back, I imagine the guy or gal out there who is creating something new and awesome, a life's work that they are passionate about. They've whittled it down into this nugget of art. And that was pitched to these networks, and they just got swept under the rug and passed for these shit shows. And what are they? I mean, they're just like uber expensive rehashings and just like a bastardizing of yet another franchise. For what, man? For what? I mean, I get a little riled up about this, but I think it's part of an agenda. It's basically like real-time revisionist history, like the Rockefeller-funded textbooks you and I had in school, just filling the young audience's little minds to the brim, past the brim so far that they're confused with this, that you don't know if you're coming or going with this bullshit cocktail, I mean, but, probably compared to us, it's on like an order of magnitude greater, just mired in bullshit. It would be different if it was something new that they wrote. These networks just came up with this. I mean, people like me would not come after them and call them out as much. People on the internet wouldn't protest in mass droves either, but they're working from known source material here and changing it outright. So, quite frankly, they deserve all the backlash that's coming to them, and that's why it's different to me. But anyway, the new Lord of the Rings show should be, excuse me, excuse me if I doubt this before it even airs, but, I feel like if this company put out the first 3 movies instead of Peter Jackson, they would have slid in like a Samwise Gamgee, Frodo Baggins Brokeback Mountain moment in the Shire. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say, all right? Moving on. Dwarves, driving Toyota Priuses to Starbucks. Elf chicks with armpit hair. Aragorn coming out as non-binary. It's all stunning and brave, but the key takeaway from this video, and what I wanted to address before I went off the rails, a fucking lot I might add, is just a lot of things in my life are getting put on hold, or just flat out canceled, man. It's cancel. I felt like I had to get on here and explain that to the people who listen. I love my audience and the player base, even if they don't listen to every episode with bated breath. You guys get it, and if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have kept doing this at all, But yeah, things like my bands and music production are all on hold. I don't even really talk about that. I just sort of throw rough demos in at the end of those chubb videos, so we don't get copy strikes. I have 2 bands, and that's all been put on hold. I love music. I work in radio, but I won't dare name the station because I'd like to keep some things in my life private. I say enough on here, and I'm probably wisely drawing the line at not disclosing my place of work. But I'm behind the scenes, so no, I don't have my own show. It's a technical job. I'm in a booth 90% of the day, or like tending to our decrepit and aging equipment that never gets funding. So like swapping out old ass cables on our rack mounted gear, or just cleaning or maintaining the computers and licenses, all the shit that goes into that. That's about as far as the funding goes. I mean, the higher ups really know it's a shit show, but what are you gonna do? I just sit in the booth and I just grind out RSC levels when I'm not busy, to be honest. Or on break, I just yell at people in the parking lot. It's a good time. But for anyone wondering, radio is just like YouTube. I mean, it all runs on ad revenue, and all the major players are owned, like by Clear Channel or whatever. That's why you'll never hear anything even remotely borderline on there, and it's just a steady stream of just the boring same old scripted, NPC talk show hosts. And by the way, all, and I mean all, are like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they have this on-air, off-air personality, man. It's pretty interesting. But they're all pretty interesting people off mic. Either that or they are severe, and I mean severe alcoholics, you know. But again, going back to the point, because I keep trailing off, a lot of things in my life and like my free time, they're just going to have to like settle down a little. I just won't have the time to dedicate to things like I had before. And literally everything that my dad was doing for his mom, my grandma, is now on me. So it's just been lots of fun. I'm ready to change my phone number, dude. But anyway, the weekend reviews will always take priority, and they may actually turn into like month in reviews. I haven't quite figured that one out. But the occasional, like, we'll just call them the other category, like the Adventures of Chubb and the Getting to Know interviews are sadly going to take a hit. I will say this. There are one, possibly two, more of the Getting to Know series in the future that I'm really excited about. So at least that's something on the horizon. So, I mean, we've beat around the bush here for 10 or 12 minutes. So let's get into the RuneScape topics that I have here. Just some bullet points of what's been going on and what's important to note. In vanilla, I've just been grinding away on my main and my tank mage chubb. The mage arena has been in the back of my mind. I sort of I've saved it for the last thing to do on classic. So we're slowly getting there to that point on both characters, I'd say. I mean, chubb is a tank mage, so it's kind of necessary that he does that. But I sort of want to do mage arena on my main first, so I've sort of slid into this conundrum here. But I'm really just going for 1400 overall on my main, and at this point it seems like a life mission. But that's the goal was never to beat anyone or like be the best. But once I hit 1300, I knew that I could get 14. And Sam Hyde basically did it. He got 1500 with 80 in all combat stats. So I figured there's no reason why I can't at least get 14. But I'm still a few grindy levels away from that one. And I've been playing a lot at night because I'd never sleep but more than like 3-4 hours a night. Dude, I drove my parents insane when I was a kid. But speaking of driving people nuts, oh man, I was engaged for about a year and a half. I'm sure that I've never brought that up on here. We had been together, let's see, 3.5, basically 4 years, and that ended with the pandemic. So yeah, I had a record deal with my band that fell through in March, and a marriage an engagement anyway, that ended around the same time. So go figure that one. 2020 was a fucking party, man. But once we were in the same room for 3 to 4 months, however long that was, it felt like years. But, with no escape from each other and the realization that she wanted to change everything about me and steer my life in a way that I didn't want to go, I wanted out, man. We both wanted out. So the feeling was mutual. I had a 4-bedroom house in West Virginia, and after all that, shit just suddenly changed. But after that, I moved back up here, closer to my immediate family, and I found work. I had been doing the live sound for the Jaegerfest and Oktoberfest for years up here, so I knew a few people locally in radio and TV, so I had way more connections up here than down there. And when you're in dire straits and coming off the heels of a life changer like I was and a pandemic, you got to realize you look to your roots, I guess. But that period of time just changed my life like some sort of Biff Tannen Back to the Future tangent or something, looking back at it all. But yeah, so back to vanilla. Man, I'm sorry, I keep going off. But I'm slowly closing in on my goals, man. I have no intention of maxing out stats or going for 1782. I just like to get to 1400 and see where I am at that point. I think the whole 1400 thing came when Mr. Green dared me to get to 1300, and I got there, and then I needed a new challenge or something. I don't quite know. But I still have no idea really what I'm gonna do with Chubb yet, but like mess around. I think it would be fun at least to do like friendly duels and PvP and shit with other people, and maybe my tank mage versus their strength PKer. I don't know. I'll probably die a lot because I'm not a PKer, but I'm aiming for 60 defense and some god mage spells. I'll probably do decent enough. I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely the most time-consuming build, and it's expensive as shit. And there's only like 3 or 4 other ones on vanilla, and they don't play anymore. So he usually he's relegated to the alt duties, like thieving the nat chest or collecting herbs. But that's pretty much it. He does a damn good job at using my stockpile of runes. So every once in a while I'll park him at the Mage Guild and just park him there and get like 30,000 of each. Yeah, I also did something that I never thought I would do, and this may come as a shock to like all of you, but I started a pure. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Jack Black. Jack Black is in fact a black pure, so we'll see how this one goes. I could have went the traditional route, but I find the like 40 attack, 1 defense, max strength builds just to be a bit boring and cookie cutter. I don't plan on whining attack levels or going too crazy or hit a specific combat level. I'm not building them for a tournament or anything, just for fun. I've seen videos of Black Pures online. I'm pretty sure it was Bonesy. Bonesy has a good Black Pure video. But I always liked the way black armor looked in the game, so I figured, what the hell, let's do it. If he sucks, maybe I'll bump him up to like 30 defense down the line. I don't know. I'm also thinking of I may go for a dragon sword and clanks, so he can wield a kite, or even, if he gets that far, I could wield an anti-dragon breath shield and get to like slaying some dragons with 10 defense. Fuck it, see how it goes. I'm gonna go to 40 prayer, so I'll have that going for me. But that would be cool to have an alt that could do that. That character has been a fun diversion, man, from the grind. I mean, just a steady stream of food, and maybe we'll do Underground Pass. That could be fun. Jack Black is eating away at that stack of tuna that I've had in my bank on my main forever. Jack Black will smash skulls and smash tuna like a true alpha. But the funniest thing, I recorded it too. It's probably not funny to anyone else other than me, but I went up to Duncan Ardone. He didn't know who I was. I was just talking shit like some Lumbee scum. And I said, duel me. He's probably thinking, who the fuck is this clown? Man, I laughed so hard. I wish I was recording the audio, but, of course I expected to die. I just thought it'd be funny, and he had no idea who I was. Rolling the replay, I did hit a 6 on him, and he's 99, level 99. His combat level, I don't know what his defense level is, but that proves, absolutely nothing, but it's pretty cool. Of course, I staked 1 tuna because I've got to find a faster way to get rid of them goddamn things. I didn't even notice at the time, but I looked at the replay and I went, oh my god, he got a D square. And then I messaged him and I congratulated him, and he says, yeah, I bought it off of NES. That sucks, man. He's killed so many NPCs and had to buy one. But no shame in that, dude. I bought my DMed off of NES, which is funny. But as far as the Black Pure goes, hey man, at this point I've passed the 50 days online threshold. And that picture that I will probably flash on screen is about a month old at the time that I actually sat down right here and got around to recording this. I still love the game. I'm sure you all understand. I get a little bored from time to time. The only piece of advice that I have for you, and really is the ultimate key to success, if you plan on going as hard as I have, which to some is not much, but still, follow me here. The real key is, of course, gel mousepad waifu titties. Take a look at that. They're soft, jiggly, supportive, and quite luxurious, you know. We don't want any carpal tunnel, and we want that wrist to be perched on just a cloud of waifu chest meat at all times. Maybe get a waifu full body pillow to go along with that. See if they have a 2-for-1 deal, you know. But invest in some wrist support, you know, because we don't want any carpal tunnel. Go on a low inflammatory diet, you know. Cut out the tomato sauce and the pasta. Start eating greens and steaks and fish, and just get rid of them goddamn like Monsanto chicken nuggets from the frozen food section. Remember to touch grass every now and again. Get some sun on you. And definitely snag one of those waifu pillows, you know. Rest assured, you will be alone after 50 days online in RSCV Classic. You'll need something to cuddle at night and cry into with your penis. Yeah, I'm kidding, but not really. The life of a gamer, the life of a no-life gamer, that could probably be an entire thing outside of this show that we dive into next time for sure. In other vanilla news, I did notice that Duke Master hit 1,200, so I congratulated him on that and said, welcome to the club. You know, I try to congratulate people when I notice it, so shout out Duke Master. I remember buying him a black large helmet from the Champs Guild when he first started, and look at him now. So then I started thinking to myself, well, shit, maybe we do need a 1,200 club. Maybe there needs to be an actual club, 1,200 and above club. Yay or nay? Yeah, but I noticed Rip Kiddo was out and apparently trying to sell his party hat, which I really wondered if someone got. But I told Duke Master, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'll help you buy it. Just keep some rares in the hands of active players, you know. But apparently 10 million was the number, and I said, good lord, that is cheap, you know. But no word from Rip Kiddo was the last that I heard about it. But you know, I guess I would like to see party hats stay in that 10 to 15 million. Anything more than 15 million is just kind of crazy to me, and almost like, you know, more importantly, keep them semi-attainable would be nice, you know. But what are you gonna do? What else is going on this list here? Danny hit 99 strength, which was a big one. So, you know, congratulations on that. These are going to sound old because I had a list of ongoing stuff on here from Vanilla dating back to like July 7th or something, it looks like. So be warned. Just, you know, things I felt were newsworthy. Lone Lamer, just plowing through 99. So congratulations on 99 attack. He's on a mission, man. I don't believe there's anyone, literally no one, stopping him at this point. 1,600 and the number one overall spot is fast approaching, and that is just bonkers. We're talking like less than he's probably about 200 levels from the ultimate finish line, so congratulations there. Speaking of veterans, Iniesta came back, which sort of shocked me. I don't know why either, because he played a lot when I first joined. So welcome back, Iniesta. I always hope that the OG players stick around or make a return, so it's nice to see. I always figured if anyone was going to make it past Mr. Green and Bank Greeter and the like, it would be Iniesta, whether he's trying to or not. But the player rates, the same names as the last video that I did, have not changed really at all. And come to think of it, I actually haven't met really anyone new in quite some time, except for the guy the other day, Mystery Box. So shout out Mystery Box. There's been a few people returning, like Silverbow and Iniesta, but not a whole lot of brand new people that I can think of, But last winter, I would say the player base really ballooned, and then it sort of fizzled out around February. And if that's any kind of indication of how the server has went year to year, we should see more people picking up in the fall and winter. And then I really wanted to cover Discord, which I'd like to talk about for like just a minute here. Okay. It is my firm belief that Dragonfire should not be a section. It should be called Dynasty, because that is what it is. And everyone who plays on both Dynasty and Vanilla knows this. I mean, think about it. Think about it as if you were a brand new player, right? You have no idea what's going on yet. Often you don't even look down to see the cone and the vanilla, so that you just see the first general comment section from the top and comment away unknowingly. It's stupid. And also the nostalgia section and the vanilla flavored memes were migrated into the Dragonfire, I call them the Dynasty section. I mean, why? Maybe I can make a mental note to bring up, because I shot a video here before and I probably have some screenshots, but yeah, I also thought to myself, what the fuck, And then I saw, as I was noticing different things, Vanilla News section. Did it ever have anything on it, or was it just always empty? It's odd that it's empty, but it may have always been that way. But anyway, the memes and the nostalgia being moved over, man, come on. I hate to Chris Carter that shit, but, come on, man. With the exception of Fat Tire, not a single Dynasty player, and they outnumber us 10-1 or something fucked up like that. Cookies has ever posted a meme in that section. So shout out Fat Tire. He's one of the few Dynasty people that I can freaking handle at any given time. The little bit of beef between Dynasty and Vanilla is probably a good thing, though. It keeps us on our toes, I guess, but it also shows an outsider some perspective. Whoops. As you're getting to know the community and just skimming the Discord, if you have an ounce of discernment in your entire body, you'll see it right away. And look, I'm probably the only one who cares, but at this point, I'm convinced that most Dynasty players have clans, and they obviously have their own Discord channels to plot and scheme. They really only use the main Discord to either A, shit post or talk shit, B, check it for news and updates, or C, the obvious new player needing technical help because they can't figure out why Microsoft Edge is stealing their goddamn jar file association. So that's really the only use that I see. But from now on, I'll post memes in the media section. Fight the power and nostalgia if I have any. That's sort of more of a cruise thing anyway, in the RuneScape Classic sections of the Vanilla Discord. It's just a weird thing to do, man. Why would you get rid of them? We're outnumbered, so what are you gonna do, really? Not a huge deal, but it's worthy of mentioning as I do cover server news here. I often wonder if the mods love me or hate me at this point. I'm sure they could care less, At least I don't try to act like I'm part of their crew or anything. I realize I don't have much of a filter and I go off on here sometimes, and I'm probably hard to take, but it's all done out of love. I just think it would have been cool to keep 2 Discords, and who cares if it's boosted with Nitro or not. Nitro sucks balls anyway. it's just emojis unless you literally shovel money into it. But yeah, that's it for Discord. Fuck Discord. In other news, I saw our friend Beast Fable is slaying KBD solo F2P style with a fucking two-hander and Dragon Shield meta. That was some good stuff, man. That video made me laugh when I was having a pretty dark day, and I just wanted to shout out that video. And that reminds me, Beast Fable, ranged. Yeah, I had to like bring that up in my brain. Okay, all throughout the beginning of this video, I will be rolling footage of me training ranged at various places because this was sort of a common theme for the month of July. I tried ogres with an alt inside the cage at the King's Training Ground. For some reason, they're not aggressive. Go figure. While this is a method for training ranged and prayer, it's not a very good one. Still, it's pretty cool that you can do it. Maybe in the late 80s ranged, maybe 90 ranged, this would be more viable, though I doubt it. But after that, I attempted an idea of PvP ranged training in the wild. But that flopped, and this is where Beast Fable sort of comes into play here. The theory that I had was that you could just park a high defense level alt outside of Mage Bank, feeding them a steady stream of food, and just fire arrows into them, gaining ranged experience per hit, rather than by killing an NPC one by one like a dungeon rat, you know? So, in one of Beast Fable's videos, I stumbled on, randomly, we're talking about, you know, real random. I was looking for ranged max hit. And we're talking real random that I stumbled on this anyway. They're doing this max hit for ranged, and they discover that it's 19. And okay, the players start talking amongst themselves. Oh, I noticed this. I noticed that we get ranged experience per hit in the wild. And this was a video of original RuneScape Classic in 2017 or 2018, but not a word about it on the wiki. This was all news to me, so when I went digging, I couldn't find anything about it, but it all seemed like a legit idea, you know. But just to be 100% crystal clear, I'm not exactly sure how good your experience would be from this, even if it did work. I mean, there are a few factors at play to consider, but I brought this to the attention of the powers that be, our mods, you know, our creators, really, our fearless leaders. And look, it's not my server, nor was I someone, you know, some man on a mission or anything trying to change things or act like I'm an expert on the topic, which I'm definitely not. But so far, we've accumulated undeniable evidence in the form of multiple videos and pretty goddamn credible eyewitnesses that can vouch for this. I would point to those two videos Beast Fable did. If you ever really want to see the proof for yourself, and they're testing ranged max hit was the first one, and the second one was the bot purge. And that actually shows experience going up hit by hit for PvP and NPCs. So, all that I can state for a fact after all this is that if ranged in vanilla was an exact replica of RSC, two things would happen. Number one, the path to 99 ranged would be a lot easier than it is right now. At least it would look a little different and have an alternative method. I say that with a huge maybe and an asterisk next to it because, I mean, this all depends on several factors, methods that I haven't even attempted, and also you would need a high defense level alt, and then, okay, the cost of food to keep that pace and get it higher than Dungeon Rat's experience per hour. Something notable like offset guides on the wiki is what I'm looking for. Not just an alternative method, but to smoke the fucking wiki. You know, that's always the goal. But you would surely save money and time on arrows and arrow collection or fletching your own arrows, you know, because we're just dumping them all on Dungeon Rats, you know. I mean, shit. But the number 2 thing, that's a big one. The max hit would drop from what it currently is. So if max hit was 19 in the original, at least, that was what was recorded. We have proof of. I'm not entirely sure what max hit is on vanilla, so just to paint a picture, if you will, I recorded a 17 on an ogre with a magic longbow and rune arrows, no pots, and I was only 75 ranged at the time. So I would assume it's more than a smidge higher in vanilla as opposed to traditional RSC. But literally only Ziguli could confirm the max hit. How do you say it? Ziguli?
Ziguli.
He's the only one who could confirm the vanilla max hit at the moment, because he's the only player with a 99. But I would wager a fairly hefty bet that it's higher than 19. If I'm already hitting 17s unpotted, it's 75 ranged. So taking that into account, if your max hit is lower and you're doing this hypothetical alt method training in the wilderness that would also drop your experience rate per hour slightly, it may not even be a viable alternative to Dungeon Rats, which at the current time we believe to be the best method. So I guess number 3, and a big one, you're in the wilderness, so you got to worry about PKers, so that one should be pretty obvious. But at this point, it's all a pipe dream, and I'm pretty sure that these ranged theories of mine will probably only go as far as this video, and nothing will change. Look, I should state for the record, I don't expect changes to the game mechanics, some 4 to 5 years later after the launch. To expect that would be pretty laughable. But I can sit here today and confidently say without a reasonable doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, I should say, that I found something that is undeniably different and provable. The proof is there in those videos. But this whole thing really did open up a can of worms, so to speak, man. Shit. I'm glad I found out about it, but now I just sort of scratch my head as to how something like this could slip through the cracks all this time. Also, there's no way in hell, that I'm the first one to bring this up or say anything about it, right? I'm not even a PKer. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. I mean, look, I guess I didn't start off on the right foot calling out a video that Beast Fable did on vanilla early on. Hell, this was my first video that I did. I probably seemed like I was coming right out of the gate swinging, so I guess I should just try to sum it up in a few short words. I would say this. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm noticing, we'll just call them things, the more and more that I play. I went about that one all wrong and possibly shouldn't have spoke before I dumped 1,000 hours plus into the game like I have now, and could pick it apart 6 ways to Sunday on what's buggy and what's borderline or troublesome, whatever the word you want to use. So I try to shout that guy out whenever I get a chance. And if the day ever comes that I myself hypothetically decided to start my own server for me and my friends, again, hypothetically, I have no plans to. But if I did, I would like to know every one of these things in great detail, wouldn't you? But as far as RSC, YouTube videos go, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He has a lot of content going back years that may answer a question or two that you have as far as RSC in a historical sense, because he was recording all the time. I mean, and then you have players like me. I played from 2002 to 2005. I don't even have a single screenshot to go by, and a lot of fucking players are just like me. But yeah, the reality is, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. The people who run the server aren't perfect. So I feel like doing a little bit of groundwork, if you will, and solving things with evidence and stating things factually with actual proof. If you see something different or that is off, is the only fucking way to go, man. I'm not going to insert my opinion anymore. I'm done with that. I will only note things if I find a bug or a difference. It's very hard to come off not sounding like an asshole in this scenario. I just want what's best for the game and the community, trying to relive what they once knew and played through and enjoyed, I guess. So the community on Vanilla is fantastic compared to some, so I try my damnedest to shout them out in a positive light all the fucking time on here. If at this point I'm not looking or sounding like a guy who cares, then I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do or say anymore. Except that's where I'm coming from, and that has always been the basis of this show. This once weekly, now turned monthly show. But that about wraps it up. Thank you all for listening. As always, I appreciate every one of you. I wouldn't have kept doing this all this time if no one listened. So I appreciate you all for your viewership and feedback. Sincerely, folks, and all jokes aside, thank you for watching. It's always been a pleasure doing this little show that covers this game that we all share in together. So be kind and ever present with the ones that you love and those around you. Time is precious and nothing lasts forever in this world, so make the most of it. Sometimes life tests us, and so take care of yourselves and the people around you and spread some positivity, whether in real life or the player beside you. If all else fails, just go start your own goddamn channel so I can watch you and troll your comments actions. All right, everybody, have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace.